Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. We are going to see about electronic circuit 1. The first slide I have given the syllabus of the subject electronic circuit 1. Today's topic we are going to discuss about BJT, need for biasing, DC load line and bias point. We all are aware about transistors and already we have used transistors in our laboratory. The given are the images of transistor nowadays we are using. It is a 3-terminal device having 3 terminals named as emitter, base and collector. And this is the image of the first transistor used, and it was huge in size and occupied lot of space. That is why it got failed. Nowadays, electrical devices from alarm clocks, phones, computers and televisions will find a device called transistor. It is not only a single device, millions and billions of devices integrated inside the electronic device. The invention of transistor was happened in the year 1947. Transistors are combined to create the logic gates that enable computations and calculations. In general, transistors are classified into 2 types. One is bipolar junction transistor BJT and the another one is field effect transistor FET. Already we said it is a 3-terminal device with the terminals named as base, emitter and collector. Next, the important term we are going to discuss is about biasing of a transistor. In general, biasing means providing DC voltage to the transistor circuit. This helps this circuit for functioning properly. A transistor is biased in order to make the transistor to work in active region. In active region only the transistor will work as an amplifier. Always the transistor is biased in such a way that the base emitter region is forward biased and collector base junction is reverse biased. If a signal with very small voltage is given to the input of the bipolar junction transistor, then the signal cannot be amplified, because if the input voltage should exceed the cut-in voltage for the transistor to be on, this condition is satisfied only the transistor can able to amplify the given signal. And one more condition is that is the BJT should be in the active region to be operated as an amplifier. If these 2 conditions are satisfied, then only the transistor can able to work as an amplifier. If the transistor is not biased properly, it would work inefficiently and produce some distortions in the output signal. That is why it is compulsory to bias the transistor in a proper way. Biasing means providing a controlled amount of voltage or current that fed to the different junctions of the transistor, and this controlled voltage and current is given in a proper way. Without appropriate biasing, the transistor may not function or amplify. Therefore, it is very important for a transistor to bias in a proper way to obtain the desired output. That is, the 2 important reasons are set for proper biasing. One is to fix the position of the Q point. Another one is to find the variation in IC with respect to beta. Q point is called as quiescent point or operating point, and IC is known as collector current and beta is the amplification factor. The given circuit is the circuit diagram of common base NPN transistor. Here IC, IE, IB are collector current, emitter current and base currents. VEB and VCB are input and output voltages. VEB stands for emitter base voltage at the input side and VCB stands for collector base voltage at the output side. VI is the input voltage, RL is the load resistor. Normally a transistor can be able to operate in different regions. They are in general cutoff region, saturation region, active region and inverse active region. First 3 are the regions we are going to see now. That is, always the transistor, in a transistor, the two junctions of the transistor should be forward or reverse biased according to the application of the transistor. If we want to operate the transistor in cutoff region, both the emitter base junction and collector base junction should be reverse biased. That is why the transistor can operate as a switch, that is an open circuit. If base emitter junction is forward biased and collector base junction is reverse biased, at this condition the transistor will operate as a forward active region. The application of this region is the transistor will work as an amplifier. If both the base emitter junction and collector base junction is forward biased, it will act as a closed switch, and the region here is saturation region, and the last region is inverse active region. In this case, base emitter junction is reverse biased and collector base junction is forward biased. It is applicable for all the digital circuits. Next important point here is operating point. Already we discussed about to fix the operating point, the transistor is properly biased. That is the point we discussed earlier. So what is an operating point and how that operating point is fixed is the topic we are going to discuss now. Operating point of a device is also known as bias point or cue point or quiescent point. It is a steady state DC voltage or current at a specified terminal of the transistor with no input signal applied. This is the key point here. When there is no input signal is applied, the steady state DC voltage or current at a specified terminal of the transistor is known as DC condition. Cue point is a point where the transistor is currently operating. Now we are going to draw the DC load line of a transistor. To draw the DC load line, consider two axes, one is x axis and the y axis. Always the voltage, output voltage VCE, collector emitter voltage VCE is taken as the reference in x axis, and collector current IC is taken as reference in y axis. Here the point VCC by RC is considered as the current IC, because I is equal to V by R, IC equal to VCC by RC. Similarly, in x-axis we are considering VCE of. To find VCE and IC, we are considering two conditions. To find VCE, we have to substitute the value of VCC as VCE. That is why we can obtain VCE. And to find ICE, the value of VCC by RC is considered. And this is the operating point of a transistor. Point A in the first figure, point A and point B is joined together to have the DC load line. In the DC load line, we are locating the operating points. In the second diagram, so in the DC load line AB, we are having different points P, Q, R. This Q is called as quiescent point or operating point. In the second diagram, we are having different regions. That is, one is active region at the top and cutoff region at the bottom and saturation region at the left side. The point Q is situated in the active regions. Always it is advisable to fix the operating point at the active region only. In active region, at the middle of the active region, we are placing the Q point for the transistor to function proper. How to fix the points A and B, that is how to draw the DC load line, that is under this condition. That condition is known as DC analysis condition and drawing the DC load line. Consider the circuit, simple transistor circuit. One transistor, emitter, base, collector is marked, arrow mark terminal is called as emitter, and base and collector terminals are there. Here the emitter terminal is grounded, and at the base terminal one resistor is connected, that is known as RB, and at the collector terminal another one resistor is connected, that is called as RC. Applying Kirchhoff's voltage law at this output portion, the equation can be written as how to avoid that Kirchhoff's voltage law. See, the total voltage drop minus the next voltage drop minus the following voltage drop, according to the end of that all the devices connected, all the voltage drops is equal to 0. So the total voltage here is VCC minus, and the next resistor RC, here the voltage drop means V is equal to I into R, that is why the voltage drop here is ICRC. So VCC minus ICRC. Then VCE is in between collector and emitter region. So we are having three regions. One is VCC minus ICRC minus VCE equal to 0. So from this equation ICRC is equal to, rearranging this above equation, ICRC equal to minus VCE plus VCC. So here again IC equal to minus 1 by RC into VCE plus VCC by RC. So getting VCE is simple, that is substituting the value of VCC as VCE, we can obtain VCE value, and to get the value of IC we have to substitute IC equal to VCC by RC. These are the 2 points. So obtaining the points VCE and IC is the way to draw the DC load line. So simply connecting the points VCE and IC will give the DC load line. So I am repeating how to get the VCE value, that is simply substituting the value of VCC as VC, and after getting VCE and we are making VCE is equal to 0 in the equation, we can get IC equal to VCC by RC. After getting VCC, after getting VCE and IC, these two values can be plotted here, and joining these two lines is known as DC load line. So next we are going to discuss one tutorial problem based upon this DC load line. One diagram is given, one circuit is given, and we are asked to draw the DC load line. Here input, already we said the condition to draw the DC load line is when there is no input signal. That is why in the given signal, the input signal, it is mentioned as no signal, and IB current is given as the base of the transistor, and IC current, that is a current towards the transistor, and IE is the current, that is emitter current. IE is grounded, that is why this circuit is called as common emitter circuit. We are having input voltage side as VBB and output as VCC. VCC is given as 12.5 volts, and RC resistor, collector resistor is given as 2.5K, and we are asked to draw the DC load line. Already we discussed, to draw the DC load line we need just 2 points, one is VCE and another one is IC. After finding VCE and IC, locating VCE in x-axis, that is step 1, locating IC in y-axis, this is step 2. So we are going to continue step 1 and step 2. For step 1 we are going to find what is VCE. So applying Kirchhoff's voltage law here, already we said VCC minus ICRC minus VCE equal to 0 in the previous circuit diagram given. From this above equation, VCE equal to VCC minus ICRC. Now substituting the value of VCC equal to VCE, we will get VCC equal to 12.5 volts. It is given as VCC equal to 12.5 volts. We can directly substitute that VCC as VCE, that is why VCE is also 12.5 volts, step 1 directly obtained. Next is to find the value of IC. IC. To find the value of IC, we have to substitute the value VCE equal to 0. So from the above equation, VCC minus ICRC minus VCE equal to 0. So from this IC equal to VCC by RC, VCC is the known value 12.5 volts and RC is given in this circuit. So substituting the value of RC, we can get IC as 5 milliamps. So now we are having two values, VCE equal to 12.5 volts and IC equal to 5 milliamps. Plotting these two values in the circuit, here in the x-axis we are having VCE, the scale is 12.5 volts. In the y-axis we are having IC, scale value is 5 milliamps. So marking these 2 points and joining these 2 points is known as our DC load line combining VCE and IC. Thank you.